here. They've been waiting patiently for it, which is remarkable.
I'm sure they have been very patient.
All right,
I wish I was.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Coach. Say whatever you want, and we'll take their questions.
Well, I really need to move on into the questions. We've got quite a day planned here moving ahead. So, I said basically what I needed to say. I usually do, on Sunday. And, again, unfortunately, the game is very, very close at the end of the third quarter, and we did not get the job done. And that's my job, and I take full responsibility for it. I know that we're maligning my quarterback today, and believe me, there's a bunch of people involved in that. Those things don't happen just one-on-one now. It's a team concept, and whether you have a pressure situation, whether you have somebody comes loose in front of him and he tries to move, whether the receiver doesn't do what he's supposed to do, whether people don't combat for the ball, whatever it is, it's a team game, and yes, the head coach is the guy that's responsible for the losses, and the players need to be there for each other in all circumstances, and this one, criticizing the quarterback for the outcome or for everything there at the end of the game really is not right.
Tom, are you surprised at all at the amount of criticism for Eli at this point? I mean, he hasn't had a lot in the last several years.
Well, I don't really know what it is. I'm just speculating. I can understand what the football world may think, and actually, what should happen? People should shift it to me. That's the guy's trying to play the best he can. He's probably, he's certainly trying to do too much. He knows his team, and he knows his responsibility. He's an extremely accountable guy, and he's going to do everything he possibly can. And sometimes it's not to be done that way. I just. I'm not making any excuses either. I mean, we all know the number of turnovers is just it's in a terrible state, and it's the one thing that I preach, period. So that it's rubbed salt on the wound with me every time something like that happens.
Tom, you mentioned the third quarter again. Does that make it even more difficult to deal with these mounting losses, that they are close games in the second half?
No, it did. Believe me, we scored twice in the third quarter, so we were coming out of that whatever's going on there, and it looked as if we were going to be in charge and have an opportunity. As a matter of fact, when it was 22-21, both teams punted the ball. We punted the ball back to each other, so the game was going to be a very close game, and that's exactly what you can sense it at that point in time, and you know that that's the time for you to take it and mount a drive and make something good happen, and that's the frustration. Nothing else, no other reason. They're close games at that point in time, and then they become, because of the turnovers, non-close games.
Tom, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Eli, but I know you mentioned to us yesterday, and you just said it now, just about you feel like he's trying to take too much on his shoulders. Is that something that you either have done already or will have a word with him and just try to tell him to dial it back a little bit and try to let it come to him, or whatever the word may be?
No, I don't put words in my mouth, but the opportunity, we did visit today, and he feels bad about the game, just as we all do, and we're suffering from remorse from opportunity loss, but he's certainly going to get it right back up again in preparation, very short preparation for the next opponent. So I know that part will be done properly, and I wish I could bring his spirits back up, but it takes a little bit of time. Unfortunately, it's very, very close to yesterday, and he'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. But we did talk, yes.
A couple times already, you've said shift to me. It's on me. Is that important for you to say that to your players, or it's just what makes you so kind of?
Well, that's the way it is. I'm the head coach. Things aren't going the way they should. It's not. My concern, as I said yesterday, is about our team and our team staying together and rallying. Looking at the facts. I know that I will say this to you. Every guy on this team, wanted to win and played hard to give our team a chance to win yesterday. And of course, when you spend that kind of effort, it hurts. And so, but my concern is for these players and the fact that they come bouncing back from this and get ourselves ready to go.
So, Coach, having taken the burden on your shoulders, what can you do moving forward to get them, back to where they need to be?
Just keep. Hey, there's no simple formula. I'm not going to give you one statement that answers all. We have to go back to work. We have to go back to work, and we have to do a better job. We've got to figure out how to solve this issue. We talked about playing well. We did play well in the third quarter. We talked about 4 quarters. We've got to figure a way to play a whole game and not turn the ball over. You can't do it. 12 penalties and 4 turnovers, you're not going to win anything.
Tom, where do you guys stand physically? I know Wilson left the game. Are there other injury issues?
Yeah, he's got injury. He's got an injury, and he's being thoroughly evaluated, and we'll see the results. Hopefully, we'll get some results about that. But he has to have a full medical appraisal of exactly what happened, and so we'll wait on that.
Tom, what did happen? Did he hit his shoulder or something, or have like a burner through his arm?
Yeah, he did suffer some kind of a tingling, and so he was immediately pulled out of the game, not to return.
Is it to the point where you might have to sign somebody, Tom?
We will see. If we do, it has to happen quick.
So what, Tom, are you thinking about maybe putting Cox in the running back mix this week?
We'll see.
It was a brief time, Tom, but did you notice an improvement in his running before he got hurt?
With David?
Yes.
Well, I noticed a very nice touchdown run, well blocked, well executed, very good looking play. So if that's what you're referring to, made a couple nice runs.
Coach, can you talk about Jonathan Hankins, DeMontre Moore, Will Hill, all those young guys that came in and tried to contribute?
Well, Will Hill did an outstanding job. He practiced all week, had an opportunity to play, made 11 tackles, and played on special teams, and was a physical force back there, which was a big plus for our team. Jonathan did a good job. Jonathan got in there. He hung in there. He hadn't had any action for a few weeks, and he got in there and got in the mix, and he competed like heck, and made a couple of nice moves, and got in on some tackles and that type of thing. So I was pleased with that. DeMontre strained a hamstring and really limited what we could do with him.
Coach, it seemed like Antrell kind of slid into a nickel kind of role, and that Terrell Thomas wasn't in the picture as much. Can you just talk a little bit about that decision?
Well, we had practiced that way all week. We had a limited number of people that were going to be available, and so we had Antrell learn the nickel spot as well as the safety spot. And, we had done some things of the nature of, rotating around the guys that we knew were going to be available. And Terrell was obviously working throughout the week in that capacity as well. But we got in the game, and to be honest with you, things were going fairly smoothly. Our guys were doing a nice job in terms of recognition and getting lined up and playing a lot of man coverage, as you know. And And so there was a really a strong feeling that, geez, we're doing okay with this. Let's stay with it, and that's kind of the way it went.
Tom, you took this loss on your shoulders, but at any point, just your staff and the people working for you, have you considered a change at all as far as maybe who's calling the plays or who's calling the defense?
No.
With so little, obviously, there's not much downtime here. You have a game coming up so quickly. Any sense that that's helped you sort of not think about, in some ways, the desperate situation that you're in, or, do you find yourself just putting your head down and, I don't know, are you at the office nearly 24/7? I mean, what's it like?
Well, it's not a great place to sleep, to be honest with you. The accommodations and the help is not good, but no, it's not to make light of it. There's two ways of looking at it. We're so busy today that we've graded the film. We've spoken briefly to the players about that game. We've introduced the opponent. We're going to go in the field house here in a couple of minutes and jog through some of the things we've prepared. So we are very busy, and I suppose it's a good thing. But don't worry. We've spent our time, whether it be last night or early this morning. We've spent a lot of time in reflection on that game, and it's not been very pleasant.
One more question for Tom.
Tom, I'm curious what your message is to the team. And last year last week you said you mentioned the division standings. Is that something you'll bring up again?
Well, I haven't had any message of the nature that you're talking about. Division standings is how we started the meeting a week ago on Monday afternoon with our team. So the idea here is basically to recognize the issues from the day before, again, to come back together, to go to work, to improve on the areas that we have to improve upon, and try to get ourselves a win. That's the whole thing, is to get started and find a way to win a game. So that's basically the message, and it was the message last week as well. It just so happened we were playing in a divisional game. It's the same message: work hard, prepare, stay together, stay focused. Last week it was, the effort was great. We needed to be the smarter team, and we needed to play 4 quarters. So from that standpoint, we still have to accomplish the total smarter team concept, the elimination of the penalties, the elimination of the turnovers, and 4 quarters. So that would be the message.
All right, Coach. Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.